Hello, welcome back to Seconds with Silk. I'm John Silkauskas, and today I want to talk about something that we all long for. As human beings, we crave for this thing, and when we don't have it, it causes us to be hurt. It also causes us to hurt others, to be short or mistreat or be harsh towards others, and that one thing is love. We all long to be loved. In fact, that's why we were created. God made us to be loved and to love Him, to love others. In fact, Jesus said the greatest commandment is this: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Now, I want to ask you, is it easy for you to love those who are mistreating you? Because I know that it's not for me. It doesn't come natural. Our natural response, if people are mistreating us, the worst wants to come out of us. And yet, I look at the example that Jesus left for us. And even when he was being mistreated and he was being harshly treated, made fun of, mocked, beaten, ridiculed, betrayed, he responded with gentleness, meekness, and love. He continued to serve and honor those people. And that blows my mind. And I had to search the scriptures. I had to ask God, how is that an ability that you can just walk in? Because Jesus came as a man dependent upon God, one that would continue to love those regardless of how they treated him. Why? Because his source was in his identity as one being loved by God. In Matthew 3:17 it says this, that the voice of the Father came down and made a declaration over his Son Jesus, that this is my Son whom I love, and with him I am well pleased. And it was out of that declaration that then Jesus' ministry was launched. And I believe that he could be mistreated and still loved because his identity was one being loved by the Father. I think the Apostle Paul had the same mindset when he said, in all these things we're more than conquerors through Christ who loved us. Paul knew that it wasn't through his own strength that he would be able to respond correctly or be able to respond with love towards people who betrayed him or mistreated him, but it had to be through the love of Christ. And so I really want to challenge you today in relationships that you might be mistreated in times that you've been betrayed in your past, and situations that might not be going your way, and you might want to retaliate and fight back, or you might want to put up a wall and shut down. Jesus' example for us is to love. And it's impossible if your identity is fixed on being loved by people. Your identity has to be rooted in knowing that you're loved by God, and that love is unchanging. If you know that you're loved by God and that love does not change, you can have the ability to love people regardless of how they treat you, because your identity is rooted in the fact that you're loved by God, and regardless of how people are treating you, you know that you're loved, and that gives your heart such a strength, such a source of identity that you really can love people regardless of how they're treating you. Love is patient and kind. Another translation says love suffers long and is kind. There's no way in the natural you can suffer for a long period of time and still be kind if you're finding all your identity in being loved by other people. Because the moment that somebody doesn't treat you the way that you think they should, it's going to devastate you. You're going to get depressed. You're going to want to fight back. But if you know that your source is from God, that God is your source of identity, where you're getting all of your identity from His love towards you, it doesn't matter what's going on in life or how people are treating you, you can still respond in love. You can forgive, you can serve, you can pray for, and you can care for those around you. And so remember that this weekend, remember that today, remember that in some of the difficult situations in your life and some of the difficult relationships. If you continue to find your identity in the love that the Father has for you, you can overcome evil with good. You can continue to love and serve those who even hurt you and mistreat you. It's called lovability, the ability to love others regardless of how they're treating you, because you know that you're loved by God. I hope this blessed and encouraged you. I look forward to seeing you next week. And also, if you want to hear more about the idea of love in the form of honor, check out some of the earlier blogs on Seconds with Silk dealing with honor. Those are also very practical and helpful. Be encouraged. We'll see you next time.